Hallo, agus fàilte go trí seascad den program ag BBC ALBA far a bhfuil boranich ALBA noch ag éis gún muna scíalchan ingantach achga an spórs. Is me Iona Ballantyne agus mí táite rá ar sanna chéad úr go bhfuil skipper Tobar na Màthar Gill Inglis callrooms in stiùideo. Ag program na héiche noch, chun sin barach fót Gill mun úni eiche ag Tobar na Màthar agus mar a hain season ar a gáil thuca seo. A sin na aithris ar skipper ball-coise Angel City gus feicin mar hair dul Gheibh chuna sinad ar a chéad program de trí seascad. Agus chuna sin bh Carly Girasoli agus mar a hair dul géise a sé gluasit go London City Lionesses. Gill, welcome to 360. Now, we have had you on as a feature guest in the first season, and back then you were injured. I mean, what was that, 2020? That'd be right. So actually, since then, how have you been and recovered from injury? Yeah, so I broke 2 bones in my foot. It was really hard. It was the first injury I'd ever had, which was strange. So I spent 10 weeks in a moon boot. It was quite difficult. I found it hard not playing, obviously, standing at the side. But I'm fully recovered now and fully focused on playing, so I'm glad that that's over and done with. Also amazing to hear that that was your first ever injury, because you have been playing for so long. Was that really frustrating when you just couldn't even, you were just watching from the sidelines? Yeah, I feel I'm really lucky in the career that I've had, and to have that as a first real injury, it's the first bone that I've ever broken, so it was really difficult, but I'm glad it's behind me, it's in the past now, and you just move on and focus on playing week in, week out. Now, at that point, you were with Motherwell, but actually things have changed with Motherwell so much since then. I think Eddie Black was still your head coach, and since then Paul Brownlee and Leanne Crichton have come in. There's been a huge change. Can you just tell us about that and what's been happening in the past 18 months? Yeah, it's so different at Motherwell now. Paul and Leanne have come in, like you said. They've made some small changes, they've made some big changes. They've made us feel a lot more part of the club as well. You know, there's a bigger push on social media. In terms of personnel, we've made a lot of changes with players, you know, things with training as well. So there's loads of positives now at Motherwell. Even results on the pitch too. Things, Motherwell, you are doing much better than kind of ever. Are you feeling really good about it? Yeah, we're really positive. We're playing with a lot of confidence. I think we recognise that there are still areas that we need to improve on, but we're happy with a lot of things that we've done this season. I think we've been unlucky with injuries and illnesses sometimes, and I think our results haven't always reflected the good quality performances that we've put in. What about even off the pitch? Because do you feel much more integrated? I know you've been doing quite a lot even with the Easter camps this week. Yeah, I think Motherwell, you know, they want to include us and they want to give us the same opportunity. You know, obviously playing for Park on Saturday is a massive opportunity for us, and I think we're really grateful for all the steps that the club have taken to ensure that we are included now. What about even just seeing all the kids at the Easter camp and stuff like that? Is it really nice? They must look at all of you as players and think, this is amazing, this is who I want to be and what I want to do. Yeah, I think it's important that the children see that there are role models, there are boys and girls at that camp, and it's been great fun going down and helping out with them this term. Tell us a little bit about your job as well, because as a primary school teacher, how do the kids perceive sport? I know you were doing exercise with them, weren't you, about kind of different jobs and who would tend to do them? Yeah, so, you know, when it was a nurse, they thought it was like a female. When it was a firefighter, they thought it was a male. When it was a footballer, they kind of never really thought anything of it, because they know that I play, and they'll come in and they'll ask, how did you get on at the weekend? Did you score? I mean, the answer's usually no, but I'll ask them how they got on and stuff. They'll say I saw you on the telly, I watched you on YouTube and things. So, you know, I think the children at my school, it's great that they have that, and it's definitely something that they enjoy. It must be quite amazing to hear that, kind of having been involved in football for so long and actually just recently seen so much change, to actually have your kids come in and say, hey, Miss Inglis, I watched you at the weekend. Does that still feel surreal, or are you quite used to it now? Yeah, it's a bit strange, but I do feel like I am used to it in a way as well, and it's not just the children in my class, it's the children throughout the school that know as well, so it's the older ones and the younger ones too, so I think it's great from that point of view. I think, you know, women's football has changed so much, and it's still got a long way to go, but it's definitely heading in the right direction. We'll talk more about playing at Fir Park this weekend further on in the programme, but actually, is it something where you can get the kids coming along to watch at the weekend? Do you think they would you can get the school along and just boost that support?
Yeah, so some of them have been down at games already this season. They've been down at Alliance Park, and I think that some of them are going to come on Saturday as well. So to see them have that opportunity is something that I'm so grateful for as well.
Oh, lovely. Well, it's so good to hear, and we will come back to that shortly. Wel, yr ash yn y dafil y syffichyd ffrwy'n stiùideo earrann fo Angel City yn Ameireaga. A sy'n rhaid brwy'n rhys, gys ffaicyn mae'r haen chlub aragag fo nwyrsyn, agos cuir a haid yr chwrsa son ffain gan WSL.
Salúnas dal dafil y syffichyd. Chai tri sgiobair gan y starch, hwys bryn di Gill Inglis, còideachd agos cawn sy'n ag skipper ball-coise Angel City. Besio hyd skipper ball-coise yn ban, an y sgiobair Los Angeles, agos fa planich yn môr a achga ys on cliche ans yn WSL. Hanna gan beach sio yn dosach, fo'n clesich yn Natalie Portman, y far son rwtig yn y Iano, mae ieng no yn ynach, an y spors yn ban an yn Ameireaga. Mas clingi sy'n cuideachd crucial colach ag y chlub y diw, Sean of ag Julie ra, e ddash an y dafil y syffichyd.
It's really about bringing the best players in the world playing the most global sport here to Los Angeles, because we believe we have, the best platform to amplify what goes on in sports here. We've got a city that has 9 professional clubs and 2 NCAA powerhouses such as USC and UCLA. So we know we have a sports-hungry market. We know that youth soccer, especially here in Southern California for girls, is one of the largest in the country with over 10,000 girls enrolled. And so we know that if we can bring a phenomenal team and build a great organization around it, we'll have strong supporters. We're starting to see the attention and the excitement grow with the league, and with these additional expansion teams, including Angel City, we hope to amplify it because we believe that soccer is a little undervalued and there's a real opportunity for growth that we're excited to play a role in. We approach this in a way where we believe that mission and capital can coexist, where we can make immediate impact in our local community using sports as a way to address social injustice, but also to build a global brand where Angel City is known anywhere and we have fans everywhere.
Ha dachi, lwch lentang a haas de faas, agus siawn chlychyd ar hasing eni a lwco, mar stiùideo ball-coise, yn ysg úlach ag Angel City. Ha eni iddi fi idd le chwtymach, an ydi a fain cwtio na henyaman y byfoa an y sŵl ball-coise yn ban. Ers on a chiad season ag a chlub, ans yn WSL. Chanelad is bawl y frip ag haast, ach ha clw ag a chlub is a choirsnach mar ha. Angel City is a dúafas a dhéanam, tuvis a hí dabli yn achga. Agus a si ag trí sgiobair, a dhéanam fiúr son feiching, che eile súring an club seo dhéanam, is on innive ball-coise yn ban. Gan am na bhain anna da Ameireaga, ach is figand hill.
Gill, what a difference 2 years can make. What is it like even just watching that and seeing how far they've come in such a short amount of time?
Yeah, I think as you say, 2 years makes a huge difference. I think even with the pandemic as well, in terms of, they've completely grown a new club. They've got new fans, they've got new places to play, and it's great to see. Even
seeing that picture with the fans there, what is it like seeing that? The appetite is there.
Yeah, I think in America it's so different, with the resources that they have available, the money in terms of what they can put in, but you see the reward if you put enough resources in and enough money in, then that's what you'll get, the reward of all the fans and things going.
Which I suppose, are you feeling that already with Motherwell? Like, you've had such a change in what you work with now. Are you feeling different about that too?
Yeah, I think, you know, Motherwell are such a huge community club. I think they do so much in the local community, and I think that they, you know, obviously hope that will attract more fans in for their men's and their women's team.
Which we've seen that with Angel City. There was even some pictures there of them helping out in the community, and for Motherwell, that's a huge part of the club. Like you were just saying, do you get involved in that, and do you see that kind of going on in the background, or not even in the background, at the forefront?
Yeah, I think we see all the hard work that goes on at the club in terms of the community. I think, you know, even like the women's players going down to the Easter camps and just being generally more involved. If you can get children involved in the club at a young age, then, you know, you hope that they'll go on and support the team and they'll attend men and women's games as well.
What is it like, even just watching that kind of Angel City feature and seeing that this is a new club that's formed? It's moving so quickly in 2 years. We're seeing that in Scotland too. There are women's teams that are starting and they're moving through the leagues, and they do have their eyes on the SWPL 1 and 2. Even knowing that that's happening, for you, how does that make you feel?
Yeah, I think with the team, with the league increasing to 12 teams as well, there's an opportunity there for players, there's an opportunity for new clubs, and I think that will only help grow the game in Scotland.
How much are you looking forward to even having 12 teams? Because there'll be some more really tight battles, won't there?
Yeah, I think, you know, parts of the league are really close already this season, and if we can have 12 teams in, and we hope to make it obviously more competitive throughout the league, I think it's a great opportunity for us.
How much are you enjoying this season? Does it feel different to any other just now?
Yeah, I've really enjoyed this season. I think it's been the most positive one, certainly when I've been at Motherwell. The changes that we've spoken about, obviously. So yeah, I think we've had a great season. We recognise that we've still got a long way to go. Paul always says trust the process. You know, things are long term. But yeah, I've really enjoyed myself this season.
What about seeing that kind of battle at the top of the table? You played with Rangers a few years ago. What is it like kind of seeing them go toe to toe and actually maybe even move Glasgow City off that top spot for the first time in, what, 14 seasons? Yeah,
I think, you know, Glasgow City have been so dominant. And they've played so well, they've been so consistent. When you look at their players and how they've played throughout all those years, and Rangers obviously have put a lot of investment into their team, and you know, they're trying their hardest to win that league title, and I think, you know, it's great for Scottish football that it's so close at the top.
You were with Rangers when this kind of whole change was happening. What is it like seeing that take place now?
I think, you know, the money that Rangers have put in can only help to grow the game. It's the same as Celtic as well. I was there and kind of seen the transition to full-time football. You know, there was a lot of work that went on behind the scenes. But Rangers and Celtic put money in will only help to grow, you know, the women's game domestically.
Well, Hearts, they're the most recent club to go semi-professional. Is that something that you want to see with Motherwell happen soon?
I think every club is different with their resources. I think, you know, ideally we would love to have a full-time league, but as I say, we recognise that every team is at a different stage in their development. So I feel that as long as every club puts in what they can to their women's team, then who knows what will happen in the future. Okay,
one to look out for. Thank you very much. Well, hashin Yolkilior Carly Girasoli and a ball-coise na ALBA, she clickers on Glasgow City against Rangers. En is Jechig an a lunain, vriend sin rische clicket daar Jane og, gus fine a-mach mar a heidogi agus na hamas an eiche click against skip a nashente.
Ha cainach ein snog ag clychyd ar ball-coise Carly Girasoli, bo how maich a call the Glasgow City, for a bunnig I tichtel in the league, agus cúchpan and my first skippe of a lawn eolis.
Yeah, I loved my time there. Obviously, being very young, I moved when I was about 14 or 15 to the under-17s, and then quite quickly moved up to training with the first team and getting game time there. So yeah, definitely loved it, yeah. Being so young and obviously coming up training at first, they were very good, obviously talking me through things, and then when I started playing and obviously training beside them. They helped me quite a lot, and yeah, and I'm thankful for that. Glasgow City have won 13 titles in a row now, and I'm happy to be obviously a part of a few of them, and obviously some cups as well, as you've mentioned. So yeah, definitely winning trophies is something I love to do. I think anyone would. So yeah, I'm very proud of what I've achieved so far.
Sé newl sa hwyddi sa Champions League, yn yn y rwtyn o chort i Carly y pafos y driach. Agus ein dochus capain corm sy'n y ddiest, sa naam di cheach.
Yeah, to be fair, that's something else, especially playing against some of the best players in the world at the time. Obviously Barcelona, I think the away leg of that tie was definitely my favourite, and their stadium, it was quite a tough evening, but I definitely enjoyed every part of it. I think that's a name for the future, obviously play again in the Champions League and obviously try and get as far as I can.
Glúis yn clychad ar Gian go Rangers agus anna hyn hwdi cwnad professionta, agus corm a fi clich agus a tren a glánúne sonna chi a dúad.
Yeah, so they turned professional that year. So yeah, I was very happy to join them, obviously sign my first professional contract. Their training schedule's a lot different. We obviously trained about 3 times a day sometimes. So yeah, it was definitely tough, but something I enjoyed. I've made great friends for life now. Training was hard, as I mentioned. It's been up since what I was used to. But yeah, every part of it, I loved it, yeah.
Yn ystec na London City Lionesses, a ball-coise hias ag Jace, a cortha di Carly, para veli haas the genu earthis, and a league arpashach.
Well, to be fair, I'd obviously put out there that I'd left Rangers, and I was in talks with a few clubs, and I think Edward got in touch with my agent, and things just kind of started from there. So yeah, just kind of through them, and I'm just so happy to be here. Playing in a new league and in a new country, it was something I definitely wanted to do. I think that was definitely a name of mine, was to move to England at some point. So this was good for it to come about at such a young age. Obviously, I'm still quite young, so I'm still like learning and doing things. But yeah, I've loved my time here. I would say it's pretty much the same. The only thing I would say is this league's a lot more competitive. No game's an easy game kind of thing. So no matter if you're sitting top or bottom, no matter who you play, it's obviously going to be very challenging.
A Carly Tollicha a bhí a dash the parke as Joey a pandemic. Leis a hada isn't skip a chutchach, gus ein suas, chunna league.
So for me personally, obviously having to go out running myself for about 6 months, it was very tough. I think everyone's in the same boat as that. But for clubs, obviously no fans, having to change training for limited contact, it's definitely tough, but I'm kind of glad we're at the other end of it now and fans are back in. So yeah, I think they still remain the same, promotion, but I think we just need to take every game as it comes now, try and get maximum points. But I think a big focus is clean sheets from now until the end of the season, because that's something we can control. But yeah, I think we're just trying to win every game as they come now. Yeah, it's been challenging. We've had good results, probably games that we should have won, probably had a few more clean sheets. But yeah, I just think that this bunch of girls are just like so resilient. We've just bounced back. We train hard every day. And yeah, we just try and win as many games as we can.
A Carly and Dochus barach chichtel in the Gheibh sa driach. Ac a ddiaf ama sé corm clycha ein, Carly this and skip an ashanta.
I think it's all kind of happened in a quite short space of time. Obviously, by the time I moved up to first team to now, I've done quite a lot in my short career. So I definitely just want to keep that going and probably win as many leagues as I can, because that's definitely something I want to do. And definitely a big game of mine is to play for my country at A squad level. So that's definitely something I'm aspiring to do in the future, basically, yeah. I mean, everything, obviously, I think everyone's aim is to play for their country. So yeah, that's something I definitely want to do in the future.
Jill, you've played against Carly over the years. What was it like coming up against her?
Yeah, she's a great defender. She's a really tough opponent to play against. I played against her when she played at City and when she played at Rangers. I think you can see that from what she's done already. You know, she's quite young, but she's got so much experience and she's still got a long way to go, but she's had a great career already in a short amount of time.
Is she a player that you expected to go down south?
I think you always heard her name mentioned. You knew that a lot of people really rated her quite highly, and I think that hopefully her going down south, she can really kick on with her career.
She's playing with London City Lionesses there, as we saw. There's another Scottish player, Jamie Lee Napier, who plays down there. How important is it to not lose track of these players, especially when they do have the aim of wanting to play for the Scotland A team?
Yeah, I think these players, you know, a lot of younger players have moved down in the hope that playing against different opposition and having a more competitive league will help push their careers on. And I think that you can see that the national team, they don't just select players in Scotland, obviously it's players from all different countries. That's been a huge change in the last wee while, and them going and embracing a new league and, you know, finding new teams and things will only help push the national team on as well.
Now, where they are in the league, they're sitting third. There's only 1 point that separates the top 3 teams. So promotion up to the WSL isn't off the cards for somebody like Carly and Jamie Lee Napier to be playing down in England in the top league. How important would that be then for the national team? That would be a huge boost if they're playing against the best players, some of the best players in the world.
Yeah, as you say, some of the best players in the world play in the WSL, and if they can, you know, push themselves and challenge themselves against them week in and week out, then that will definitely help them. I think, you know, you can hear that they've got clear ambitions. They want to really kick on and hopefully get promoted, and yeah, that will definitely help them.
She also mentioned kind of her experiences of playing Champions League football and playing Barcelona. Can you imagine even playing Barcelona at home just now? 2 sold-out matches, 90,000 people coming to watch. What I mean, what do you even think when you hear that?
I think, you know, it just shows you how far women's football has come. It's brilliant to see that that's the support that you get, and I think in Scotland we are very jealous of it. I think every nation would love it to be them, and it's hopefully something that becomes the norm, you know, in the next few years.
While playing at Fir Park, what can fans expect on Saturday when you play Hamilton?
We're really looking forward to playing at Fir Park. I think that hopefully fans will see a really competitive game. We've obviously done quite well in terms of we've won both Lanarkshire derbies already this season, but you know, it's a clean slate on Saturday, and we're really looking forward to the game. And
even for anyone wanting to turn up, they don't even need to pay for a ticket.
Yeah, entry's free, which I think, you know, just promotes the fact that Motherwell are a real community club. There's just donations that are asked for the academy if possible, so I think, you know, the club are really doing everything at their end to help push the game too.
Are you hoping for a big crowd?
Yeah, we're hoping for a really big crowd. I think, you know, every player has asked everyone they know, so hopefully we'll be able to get a good crowd there.
And what about coming up against Hamilton? You played with them for so long. I know it's a very different team now.
Yeah, it's a really different team. I've still got some friends there, and obviously Gary and Bobby are still there too. So I think, you know, we'll look at Aki's, we'll look at their strengths, we'll look at our strengths and how we can get the best out of the game.
Do you quite enjoy playing in these Lanarkshire derbies now?
Yeah, they've been good fun, to be fair. I think it's historical, the fact that it's been the first competitive Lanarkshire derby, and hopefully we'll continue to see many more in the next few years.
Cool, we'll really look forward to seeing how that goes on. Well, yn talman nesh sy'n horsten a siar chwtio siar gan gem Gheibh at their ALBA agus yn span at Camden.
Som vi den jemmel samt på Mathias här kian. Så Mathias ja med sig hade harsta stoppet i Iona och Dosias. Agus har blivit finish i Spanien hier Junsi Kerst. För Alexia Mathias agus har det Dosias för Junsi för Nicola Doherty agus har blivit finish agus caught him i Spanien. Så går det hasha sig game här show. Det måste med Alexander agus har støy hier tal in Spanje stel 3 minuten dier geschoit pat gehamden agus hij hier wat Jennifer Hermoso chen daich het keer tal in estje ische is met middag waar smó sin an nád bhile smó dachuid de Barcelona fer bhfuil cluiche agus cuideachd gan skipin áisinta a chadíist a-mach sa sealt in de cumas an éithise. Intin a fechtin. Maar het was Spanje vanaf en je gaat Màthar Thomas trail na heel haflakke de Suez. Ik heb die zweetje de hier schoon. Ik ga door de gesvox en heel Eve morgen die de van. Om de Màthar Thomas een glitching te wil. Klakke de Suez. De bal trail na heel. Het is hij town. Stochen te willen jelen. Oornjach na gaat. Be an issue that train on the hill and the ball pull up and fall on haast het Tina Nashko Hermoso Shkavia got Patias Hermoso down to Michael Paul sorry but Jennifer Hermoso Darnatal like sugar and like Darnatal like a Spain gonna like Agus could Jackas be an issue has Spain the three gonna aggressive group in a crinja on the stray. We sat to the game Akal on the hill. In de stone Karsten hoorde gedakal. Ik af en Johnny Spanje gaat.
Gill, better from Scotland on Tuesday night. You were there. What was it like as a spectator?
Yeah, I think it was a most complete performance across 90 minutes. I think that they've got a lot of positives that they can take from it, things that they still need to work on, but you know, some players certainly stepped up. I think you know, Spain are a world-class team, and to create chances against a team like that, I think there's definitely loads of positives to take from it.
And a much better scoreline too from the reverse fixture, which was 8-0 at the end of last year. Just to concede 2 at Hampden, it is a big improvement. Also, one of them being a penalty. How frustrating was it even just to give them that penalty in the first half?
Yeah, I think that you can see from the players' tweets that they're so disappointed with, you know, losing the 2 goals. But I think that shows how far they've come as a squad. I think they'll be a bit frustrated with some of the goals, but the fact that they limited them to so many chances and, as I said, created some themselves, there's, you know, huge positives to take from the game.
What about Martha Thomas? Was she onside or offside for you?
Oh, that's a hard one. I thought at the time when I watched it, I thought she was offside, but looking back, I think she might just be onside. I thought she led the line really well. I thought she battled. She was a complete nuisance up front. She held the ball up and brought others into play, so she had a really good night.
Who else really impressed you last night watching the game?
I think there was loads of good performances throughout the Scotland team. I think Caroline Muir drove us forward in the middle with Erin Cuthbert too. I think, you know, they played really well, and you know, maybe players that haven't played that well in the past, some of them certainly took the game by the scruff of the neck and really took it to Spain.
And Spain are a world-class team. Seeing Scotland play against them last night, are you happy with the kind of progress of this team and how they're starting to look now?
Yeah, I think you can see that they played together as a unit, they stuck together as a team. I think conceding a kind of early goal would have been really difficult for them, and it could easily have crumbled, but I think they showed a lot of resilience to really cause Spain a lot of problems.
Can you see what Pedro's trying to do with this squad?
Yeah, I think you can. I think you can see what he's trying to implement in the game, and I think you can see the girls are trying to carry out what he wants.
What about even just being there at Hampden? There was 7,804 in attendance, which is a record for a home competitive match. Was it nice just being in among that atmosphere? Yeah, it was great to be a part of that atmosphere. You saw so many children there as well with their clubs, and I think, you know, if you can really get them in at a younger age, then hopefully they'll continue to attend games for years to come. And you could certainly hear them watching the TV. What was it like just hearing them in the stadium? Yeah, you could hear them. They were cheering every Scotland touch, and I think, you know, that will have helped the girls on the pitch as well. Now for Scotland, there is still a chance of the World Cup playoff place. They do have Ukraine and the Faroe Islands to face though. Even just looking ahead, how do you think that they can do it?
I think that they'll be relatively happy with some performances so far. I think that to finish second to a team like Spain, you know, they're a world-class team. I think that if they can cement second place and then they can continue to play the way they did last night, then the future is bright for them.
Missing out on the Euros, how important would World Cup qualification be?
Yeah, it would be massive to qualify for the World Cup. I think they'll be extremely disappointed having not qualified for the Euros. So qualifying for the World Cup is obviously giving them something to focus on. And
even hopefully qualifying for the World Cup and just using that again just to get more people involved in women's football. Did you even see a big uptake a few years ago?
Yeah, I think, you know, with Scotland going before, I think, you know, it really captures the country's imagination. I think it gives you clear role models for younger girls especially, so they're quite similar to the men's team in that way.
Now, even just with the squad this week at Hampden, it could have gone either way. It could have been difficult because there was quite a lot happening off the park. There was the kind of the players had been tweeting last week about how they were unhappy with how the SFA had been kind of treating their ticket allocation, but actually it did come out that there was just more to it and they were looking for a bit more of equality. What were your thoughts on that? And actually, if you look around other nations and how their governing bodies support their women's teams, what would you like to see with this?
Yeah, I think the SFA support the team to an extent. I think when you do look around other countries, you see that Scotland has still got a long way to go, and I think that by the sounds of it, the girls were just a wee bit frustrated. They just asked that they've got the same opportunity as the men's team, and hopefully that you'll see that more.
Which you probably even been at Motherwell, like you're saying, having been at the camps and having both the men's and the women's teams there helping out and just having those same opportunities, it must mean so much to you.
Yeah, it does. That's, you know, as you say, all that we ask is that we do have the same opportunity as the men's game, and that will really help grow the women's game too.
What about from your thoughts, what do you think kind of needs to be done to really support this women's team? Because the quality is there, we see it, we saw it again on Tuesday night.
Yeah, I think the quality is there. I think, you know, a lot of things come down to money in terms of resources too, and I think that if the SFA were to put more money and more resources into the women's team, then it would definitely help us grow it domestically and on the international stage too.
Are you feeling optimistic about the future of this team?
Yeah, I think there's loads of positives, as I said, to take from last night, and I think that if they can really kick on, then the future is bright.
What about for you with Motherwell? We just go back to that quickly. In terms of the rest of the season, what are your hopes for finishing this season?
For us at Motherwell, we just want to pick up as many points as possible. We want our results to reflect our performances a wee bit more. I think that we've got a good run of games coming up, and yeah, we're really looking forward to finishing the season.
Cool, well, all the best. Thank you so much for joining this week, and also good luck with your derby on Saturday.
Thank you.
Well, sinné son nochd in a-mach Gheibh Iona Glasgow City agus ALBA t-seusan lachpin cholrúm sin stiùideo. Jan cín seach go bhfuil sibh lentin BBC ALBA YouTube son thula fis cócheangail siúr t-sgioba aithris. Agus nach caileamh sibh in gcéim beo BBC ALBA an deireadh teach sa tíon le Glasgow City is siúla go néitin a cluiche Spartans, a chéisian sibh an aithris.